A cat named Sugar fell from a 19th floor window but was not injured. Cats, extraterrestrial beings with 9 lives that read your mind. Did you know your cat is like an advanced spy, a professional doctor, and a skilled psychologist all rolled into one fluffy body? These mysterious creatures, who ruled Earth 15 million years before us, have now infiltrated our homes and hacked our brains. Auditory radars that detect the sound of a food can opening from 300 meters away. Ultra-sensitive noses that sniff out illnesses before doctors can. When your cat slowly blinks at you, it's saying, "I love you" in its own language. Their purring at a frequency of 26 hertz heals your bones. If you think your cat is just a pet, you're sorely mistaken. They are the secret commanders of your home who monitor your daily schedule, record your emotional weaknesses, and every night when you sleep, send a report of your activities to the feline headquarters. Are you ready to enter the mysterious world of these super-intelligent beings? Then fasten your seatbelts, because you're about to discover truths that will change the way you look at cats forever. Cats are like living GPS devices. They have a mental map of you. Cats have an incredible ability that even surpasses dogs, a system to track their owners. Each cat ear has 32 muscles, compared to humans who only have 6, that can rotate 270 degrees like a satellite dish and detect the smallest sounds from several meters away. Even if you laugh softly while talking on your phone in another room, your cat knows. Cats can hear up to 64 kilohertz, humans 20 kilohertz, dogs 45 kilohertz. This means they can hear the sound of a cockroach under the carpet or your phone charger. Research from the University of Tokyo shows that cats determine your exact location in the house by combining sound with its delay time, like an echo. For example, if you drop a plate in the kitchen, your cat calculates your distance based on the speed at which the sound reaches each ear. Wild cats develop this ability to hunt mice in the dark. Now they use it to know when is the food bowl coming. An experiment at Kyoto University proved that cats, even when their owners walk behind a wall, turn their eyes exactly to the path of their movement. This means they are mentally mapping your position. So, if you think your cat is indifferent, it's actually always watching you like a target. Many people think cats don't care about their owners as much as dogs do, but the truth is, cats worry less about losing you because they always know where you are. Cats read your emotions like a lie detector. Cats have the ability to detect your mood better than some people. Here's how it works. Face detection radar. Cats can read microscopic changes in your face. Research shows that when you frown, your cat's pupils dilate, a sign of their stress. If you smile, 78% of cats immediately start purring. When you're upset, your body odor changes. Cats detect this with their olfactory bulbs, which are 40 times stronger than humans. Stress causes the release of cortisol, which cats can smell in your sweat. Furry therapists. Some cats, when their owner cries, snuggle up to them. University of Lincoln research. A 2020 study from the University of Auckland showed that 64.7% of cats exhibit calming behaviors when faced with depressed owners, rubbing against the person or purring nearby. Some cats lick your face. This acts like endorphins on your skin. If you're depressed, your cat might stay in bed with you more than usual. Explosive fact. In an experiment, Cats were shown videos of happy and angry faces. The cats reacted with their tails to the angry faces. This means they can really detect emotions from images too. So the next time your cat snuggles up to you and you feel calm, know that it's a natural therapy, backed by 15,000 years of evolution. Cats are masters of social engineering. They control your mind. Secret weapon, emergency meow, SOS meow. Scientists have discovered that cats have a special meow with a frequency of 520 to 780 Hz, exactly matching the frequency of a human baby's cry that triggers an immediate response in our brains. Research from the University of Sussex has proven that this sound captures human attention 40% faster than other sounds. The purr bomb technique. Cats can adjust their purring between 26 to 150 Hz. 26 to 50 Hz for pain relief, like when they're sick. 120 to 150 Hz for food requests. This frequency stimulates dopamine release in your brain. Experiments have shown that when cats slowly blink or close their eyes and stare at you, 78% of humans immediately move towards them. This movement is a combination of the baby-like gaze, baby schema, and slow blinking that triggers the caregiving instinct. The internal clock of tricksters. Cats can learn your hunger patterns. If you feed them every day at 5 p.m., they start meowing and rubbing against your legs from 4:30. Research from the University of Georgia has proven that domestic cats have a 93% success rate in changing their owner's behavior to feed them earlier. In an experiment, cats learned to change their meow requests as soon as they heard the sound of a food can opening. This means they adjust their tactics like professional negotiators. So the next time you see your cat tilting its head, it's using the fake innocence technique. Slowly moving its tail, it's testing your resistance. Turning its back to you but looking back, it's an emotional trap to get your attention. These are evolutionary tricks that cats have learned over 9,000 years of living with humans. So if your cat meows while blinking, know that it's telling you a white lie. They inherited this technique from wildcat parents. Interestingly, they usually don't use these meows with other cats, only for communicating with humans. Cats recognize your voice like a vocal fingerprint. Cats can distinguish your voice from hundreds of other sounds in the environment. Research from the University of Tokyo shows that cats have 85% accuracy in recognizing their owner's voice. This ability works even when the sound is only played for 0.2 seconds. Interesting physiological reaction. When they hear their owner's voice, their pupils dilate, a sign of intense focus. Their ears turn 180 degrees for more precise sound reception. Their heart rate increases by 15%. Cats can remember your voice for up to 10 years. An experiment at the University of Bristol proved that cats can recognize the voice of their previous owner even after 5 years of separation. Cats are sensitive to the tone of your voice. If you speak to them in a high-pitched, baby-like tone, they pay more attention. They understand short, monosyllabic sounds better. Cats can recognize your voice from 1.5 kilometers away. This is due to their extraordinary ear sensitivity, their ability to filter out environmental noise. But here's a very important question. Why do they seem indifferent when you call them? Because it's a smart technique. Cats. First, make sure it's really you. Check your location. Decide if it's worth getting up right now. Cats don't give up a good nap that easily. If you frequently talk to someone on the phone, your cat will remember that voice too. So the next time your cat seems indifferent, know that they heard you and will come to you when they want to. Cats are like living MRI machines that detect diseases. Both dogs and cats have saved many lives by detecting illnesses. Some diseases cause chemical changes in our bodies that produce a specific odor, which animals can detect. Ultra-sensitive nose, detecting diseases before doctors. Cats can detect chemical changes in your body with 91.3% accuracy. Research shows that cats can detect low blood sugar from sweat, sense an epileptic seizure 10 to 15 minutes before it happens, identify tumors by sniffing their exact location, strange behaviors when you're ill, emergency forehead sitting. 75% of cats sit on your forehead when you have a fever. Purr therapy. Their purring at a frequency of 26 to 140 Hz can heal bones, lower blood pressure, relieve pain. Hidden cancer detection technology. You've probably heard about Oscar, the cat in a nursing home who cuddled with 25 patients before they died. This means he would sleep on their beds. A study from Cornell University proved that cats can detect the smell of metabolic disorders. Diabetes warning system. Cats notice when they lick your nose, it means your blood sugar is dropping. When they meow to warn you, it means there are ketones in your breath, indicating high blood sugar. Other strange behaviors. Long sniffing of a specific point on your body. Circling around your feet when you have muscle pain. In an experiment, cats were able to distinguish between cancer patients and healthy individuals just by sniffing breath samples with 88% accuracy. Why are they so accurate? The V1R gene in cats' noses is 100 times more sensitive than in humans. The ability to detect changes in the body's electrical field. So if your cat suddenly becomes obsessively focused on a point on your body, stays in bed with you from morning to night, stares at you with concern, definitely trust them. They might be warning you. Black cats are 30% more sensitive to health changes. This is due to specific genes in their breed. Cats act like a live alarm system. Cats can detect 15-minute changes in your daily schedule. Research from Northwestern University showed that cats' circadian rhythms are 400 times more accurate than humans. They can recognize the sound of your car from 300 meters away. Their sensitive paws can feel the vibrations of your footsteps from 2 floors below. They can detect changes in the magnetic field as you approach. 20 minutes before you arrive, they go to the window. They start grooming themselves. They sit in the path of your entry. Cats living in high-rise apartments wake up exactly 5 to 7 minutes before their owner arrives at the apartment 92% of the time. They can remember 5 different schedules on weekdays. They even calculate seasonal changes in your return time. Why are they so accurate? Timekeeping cells in cats' brains, suprachiasmatic nucleus, are 10 times more active than in humans. Their strong sense of smell helps them detect environmental odor changes as you approach. If your work schedule changes, your cat adjusts its behavior within 3 days. When you travel, they wait for you in their usual spot for up to 48 hours. So if you see your cat in standby mode, slowly moving its tail, ears turned towards the door, know that it has made an accurate prediction of your arrival time. Cats analyze your conversations like a living artificial intelligence. According to research from the University of Tokyo, cats can recognize up to 35 distinct words. They can identify their own name 90% of the time among similar words. They can understand the difference between a request and a command. When you speak directly to them, their heart rate increases by 20%. Their pupils dilate. The hairs on their tail move slowly. Slow blinking, equivalent to "I love you" in cat language. If you do the same back to them, they respond 87% of the time. Ear turning means they are focusing on your words. Cats can also recognize different accents. If you speak to them in an unusual accent, they tilt their heads. It's a sign of curiosity. They can remember the sequence of 5 consecutive commands. They can recognize your tone of voice even 10 years later. Why are they sometimes indifferent? This is a smart strategy. First, they make sure the words are really addressed to them. They assess the value of responding. If the topic is related to food or play, they are 73% more likely to respond. So the next time you call your cat and it just flicks its ear, know that it heard all your words. It understood the meaning. It deliberately chose not to respond. Tricolor cats respond to calls up to 40% more. This is due to their specific genetic makeup. Cats sniff out your fear like a living lie detector. Cats can detect your hormonal changes in less than 0.5 seconds. Research from the University of Miami showed that cats can distinguish frightened people from calm ones 91% of the time. When you're scared, the fur on the cat's back stands up, alert mode. Their eyes widen like saucers. Their tail moves nervously. Cats use 3 methods to identify fear: smelling chemical changes in your skin, detecting pupil dilation up to 3 meters away, sensing muscle tremors from close range. Cats that live with frightened people become 78% more aggressive, are 3 times more likely to break things, are 50% less likely to respond to calls. Research at the University of Cambridge proved if you're afraid of spiders, your cat will go to that spot 42% more often. This means they're checking out the source of your fear. Why are they so sensitive to your fear? Predatory instinct. Fear equals weakness, and weakness equals opportunity for dominance. Their ancestors developed this ability to detect vulnerable prey. So if your cat suddenly has its fur standing up, stares at you with wide eyes, slowly approaches you, know that it's measuring your level of fear. This fear radar of theirs is the result of 20 million years of evolution. Male cats show 60% more reaction to your fear than female cats. Cats act like an early warning system. Cats can detect in just 0.5 seconds that you're about to take them to the vet. How? From your voice, preparing the carrier or travel box, etc. 87% of cats do one of these things within 10 seconds of detection. Flee under the couch, hide in dirty laundry, play dead mouse. They become motionless and hold their breath. Cats never forget that. The carrier equals hell, even if they've only been locked in there once. The smell of alcohol means vaccines. They can detect it from 3 meters away. They have advanced escape techniques. Hide themselves behind curtains or cabinets. Porcupine mode. When you try to pick them up, they curl up and extend their claws. Death scream. They let out a scream that makes you think you're hurting them. Some scary statistics. 92% of cats can show their anxiety 24 hours before a vet visit. 75% of them don't eat from the morning of the appointment, even if they're hungry. Why are they so alert? The ancestors of cats developed this skill to escape predators. They remember it even after 10 years. So, if your cat suddenly disappears, has eyes like two saucers, lies completely still as if dead, know that they figured everything out and are preparing themselves for World War III. Black cats escape 40% faster, probably because they have better camouflage. Cats know their names, but pretend they don't. A cat's brain processes names like a special code. Research from the University of Tokyo has proven that cats can distinguish between 5 to 10 different names, including their own. When their name is called, their ears turn, active radar mode. Their tail moves slowly, a sign of attention. But they only respond 10% of the time. Cats have learned that if they don't immediately react to their name, you'll repeat it more and thus pay more attention to them. If their name is called in an exciting tone, such as in a baby voice, they are 50% more likely to respond. Name equals, "Are you going to give me something?" Cats associate their names with specific situations. Maybe food is coming. Maybe they can play. But if their name is repeated without any subsequent action, it becomes invalid over time. Why do they sometimes really not come? They don't feel like it. On average, cats only feel like responding 15% of the time. They associate their name with bad things, like when you previously called them for a bath. They're testing you to see how persistent you are. So if your cat flicked its ear but didn't come, half opened its eyes and still didn't come, heard its name and turned towards the food bowl, know that it understood everything, but is pretending not to. Orange cats respond to their names up to 30% more, probably because they're more social. Cats act like invisible guardians protecting your child. Cats can detect a baby's physical weakness from 3 meters away. When a baby's breathing is irregular, the cat sits next to the crib. When a baby cries weakly, the cat gently taps the baby's face with its paws. When a baby has a fever, the cat lies on the baby's forehead to help reduce the fever. 78% of cats, when their owner is pregnant, cling more to the belly to feel the baby's movement, sleep next to the pregnant woman at night. After the baby is born, cats check on the baby every 20 to 30 minutes. If the baby is in an unusual state, the cat wakes its owner with warning meows. Research from Cornell University has proven that cats become nervous before a seizure occurs in babies, can detect the smell of an ear infection from 1 meter away. Why do they do this? Due to maternal instinct. Even male cats show this behavior. If you shake a doll like a baby, regular cats remain indifferent. But cats with parenting experience immediately go to the doll and take a protective stance. So if your cat paces in the hallway of the baby's room, quickly comes to inform you when the baby cries, sleeps next to the crib during the quietest hours of the night, know that it's on a secret protection mission. This pure instinct is the result of thousands of years of coexistence with humans. Tricolor cats take care of babies up to 40% more. Can cats see ghosts? With their glowing eyes and sudden stares into empty space, cats have always raised the question, do they see something we can't? Cats can sense ultrasonic waves and changes in the electromagnetic field that are invisible to humans. Research suggests they might detect energy shifts in their environment. Sometimes they exhibit strange behaviors, staring at an empty spot and following something invisible with their eyes. suddenly fleeing from a place for no apparent reason, or their fur standing on end without a clear cause. In ancient cultures like Egypt, cats were considered guardians of the spirit world. Many believe cats can sense or even ward off supernatural beings. What does science say? Science hasn't proven that cats actually see ghosts, but it confirms that their extraordinary senses, sight, hearing, smell, might register things we can't. Now that we've learned so much about the extraordinary intelligence of cats, it's time to take our responsibility towards these furry companions seriously. These sensitive creatures, though independent, deserve the best treatment from us humans. We can enhance our friendship with cats by learning their body language. When they slowly move their tail, it means they prefer to be left alone. Slow blinking is equivalent to "I love you" in cat language. Respecting their personal space. Cats are inherently independent beings. If they don't like to be cuddled, we should respect that. When they retreat to a corner, it means they need rest without disturbance. These points apply to domestic cats. Street cats don't have a close emotional relationship with humans. They only approach us for food or affection. Even our domestic cats may sometimes seem indifferent, but they always remember our affection. It wouldn't be bad to know a little about the place of cats in ancient times, from the gods of Egypt to medieval Europe. Cats were sacred in Egypt. Killing a cat was punishable by death. Bastet, the cat-like goddess, was a symbol of love, fertility, and protection. Thousands of cat mummies have been discovered in the temples of Bubastis. Egyptians believed cats had a connection between the world of the living and the dead. Romans brought cats to Europe for hunting mice. In Greek mythology, cats were associated with Artemis, the goddess of hunting. Philosophers like Aristotle studied cat behavior. In the ancient East, cats were symbols of good fortune and wisdom. In ancient China, cats were symbols of happiness. Wavy cat statues were used to ward off evil spirits. In Japan, maneki neko, beckoning cats, were considered a sign of good luck. In medieval Europe, cats, especially black cats, were seen as signs of the devil. Killing cats under the pretense of fighting witchcraft led to the spread of the plague because the rat population increased. During this period, sailors took cats with them on ships to hunt rats. In Islam, kindness to cats is also recommended. In Zoroastrian beliefs, killing a cat was considered a great sin and had punishment. In any case, cats have had a dual image in history, from protective deities to victims of superstitions. Today, we know that these creatures are neither sacred nor devilish, but intelligent companions that have lived alongside humans for thousands of years. Cats are emotional beings that show their loyalty in their own way. If we respect their boundaries, needs, and unique language, we will have friends for a lifetime who not only warm our homes, but also our hearts. Take care of yourself and your cat. Goodbye.